May Allah bless you in the world.
Shaykh Tariqat Amir al-Sunnat, in his world-renowned book Fazan-e-Sunnat, he has narrated in there that the eminent scholar of Hadith, Sayyidina Haji bin Khalid radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, was once invited by the Khalifa of Baghdad, Mamun al-Rashid. And after eating Sayyidina Haji bin Khalid rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, he began to pick up and eat the bits of food that had fallen on the floor. The Khalifa, he was astonished. And he said, "Oh Shaykh, are you not full?" Thinking that maybe he was still hungry, maybe he had not ate his full. And he replied, "I am. I've ate enough, alhamdulillah, but I've heard a hadith of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whoever picks up food, eats the fallen bits of food from the dining table or the dining mat, he will get free from the fear of poverty." So when the food, at the end of the meal, the food that is left lying around that's fallen off our plates, is on the dastakhan, on the table, that food, there's a sunnah in the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in picking up that food and eating that food. And the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that whoever eats that food, he will be free from the fear of poverty. Highly impressed by this, the Khalifa, he pointed out to his servant, and he said to his servant, "Go and bring 1,000 gold dinars." So his servant brought 1,000 gold dinars in a handkerchief, and he gave it to Sayyidina Haji bin Khalid rahmatullahi ta'ala, and he gave it him as a gift. Sayyidina Haji bin Khalid rahmatullahi ta'ala said, "Alhamdulillah, the blessing of following the hadith has appeared straight away." The eminent scholar of hadith, Sayyidina Haji bin Khalid, in that parable, he picked up and he ate bits of food falling on the dining mat. And he showed respect to them. And by the blessing of this, Allah Azza wa Jal, he, through the wasila of the Khalifa, he received 1,000 gold dinars. Therefore, we should not only respect our sustenance, but every blessing that Allah Azza wa Jal gives us, we should never be ungrateful. And we should remember all the blessings that Allah Azza wa Jal has given us. So, this hadith tells us that if you pick up the food that falls off the mat, or that's left at the end, then inshallah you will have no fear of poverty. But if we look at our own houses, if we look at ourselves, do we do that? Do we, many people feel that they shouldn't clean the plate because it's a sign of hunger. It's a sign of of poverty that you're cleaning the plate. If you go to somebody's house and you're picking up the bits that are on the floor, people think, who's this kind of person? Now, in this Madani pool, in this parable that I just told you, there's a few Madani pearls for us. Number one is that you should not waste food. And if we look at ourselves and look at our lives and on a day-to-day routine, how much food do we waste? Be it breakfast, be it lunch, be it dinner. Even if we have a sandwich at work, we'll eat bits and bits are falling on the floor, bits are falling on the table, and we don't even bother to pick them up. And secondly, in this particular waqia, this parable that we heard, this sheikh, this person, he was not afraid of acting upon the sunnah in front of a king, in front of the Khalifa. He was not afraid of this. And he was proud of acting upon this sunnah. And the question comes to mind that when we are in front of dignitaries, when we are in front of people in power, we are in front of people that have influence, how do we act? Do we still act upon the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Unfortunately, forget acting upon the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We even leave the fard. Because we're in front of somebody that's very important. We're in front of an MP. We're in front of someone that's very wealthy, a big businessman, a big person in the society, a big person in the community, and it's time for namaz, but we don't want to leave, we don't want to get up, we don't want to feel as if we have to go and get up our namaz, and we miss our namaz. This, again, that these people of the past, no matter who was in front of them, they would live their lives according to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you can see in this, that there's a parable, there's another Madani pearl for us there, that those people who were afraid or ashamed of picking up the food from the mat and eating it, those people who were ashamed of growing the beard, those people who were afraid or ashamed of leaving the norm of what is happening around them and following the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these people, they will suffer in the long run. Those people that act upon the sunnah, they will get success in this world and they will get success in the hereafter. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us all the passion, my dear Islamic brothers, to follow the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel.